Ah, Liverpool, the birthplace of the Beatles, the Boo Radleys, and apparently Blur. Out of all the Britpop bands to make a video game about, why did you think Blur was the most appropriate?
It was kind of the idea of kind of the light energy and kind of the light creating a blur, and it was kind of a play on the power-ups and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, you can forget Britpop. Come May the 28th, the only Blur gamers need to be aware of is Activision's stonking new racing game. Part arcade, part sim, all about action-packed fun straight from the starting blocks. After pushing back the release to polish their title, Bizarre Creations have produced an addictive gameplay experience that combines the furious violence and real-world feel of Death Race with the old-school playability of Mario Kart, making for a uniquely enjoyable game.
I think what is really cool about Blur is that you never know who's going to win the race until the very, very end. One thing we really wanted to improve on normal racing games is, the start of the race is really exciting, but towards the end of the race, once, there's a guy in front of you a long way ahead, and a guy behind you, and you're racing on your own, it gets a bit dull, gets a bit boring. By adding 20 cars on track, and by adding these game-changing power-ups that make positions move a lot, then you've got constant battling, constant fighting, all the way to the finish line. There's 8 power-ups in the game. For example, Shunt is a big red homing missile, basically, that comes out of the front of the car. It's great for getting people who are a long way off so you can catch up with them. Another cool one as well is Shock, which always targets the pack at the front of the race. Shock will land in front of first place, but if the first place driver is particularly skillful, he'll be able to weave through the power-up and escape unscathed.
While single player is entertaining, the fun really starts with multiplayer. With up to 20 gamers racing together online, the biggest online grid in any next-gen racing game, and a 4-way split-screen mode, Bizarre have pulled out all the stops in making Blur a true team experience. While what we saw was work in progress, Blur looks to be a breath of fresh air for the racing genre and a welcome return to old-school bump and grind.
As consoles have got more and more powerful and more impressive, it's been quite natural for developers to create even more impressive simulations of real-world physics, real-world handling, real-world cars. And I think while we've done that, they've been technically stunning and critically acclaimed video games. I think we've turned off quite a large group of gamers who just want a bit of fun and a bit of action, basically.
Fast, furious pick-up-and-play fun, the mods, achievements and online possibilities should still keep the hardcore happy, making Blur one to watch this spring. So I've just been told the game's not about the band Blur, it's some sort of racing game, which is a bit embarrassing. It means all these questions are useless. What's it like working with Damon Albarn? I'm going to rejig my questions and see what the game's actually like.